Without realizing it until now, I've been searching for the digital analog, and it's led me here. I couldn't be happier. Let me put this into a bit of context. Now hear me out. I'm an okay photographer, and all I really like to do is to take photos of my little family, and I have some good results. But the way I was taking photos 5 years ago was just to simply rely on the amazing autofocus that's in modern cameras. I'd whack on some fast glass and I'd spray and pray. Sure, I'd get like 5 amazing photos, but I'd have a memory card full of like 500 to sift through to find those few shots. And unfortunately that meant that usually I would copy those photos onto my hard drive and then not do much with them for some time. I wanted something to slow me down, so I decided to go back to film, and it worked. So this is the Canon A1. It made me much more selective over when I was taking photos. It made me think about where I was taking photos and what the light was like and what was in the frame and what was out of the frame. It slowed me down and it made me more intentional. And then when I went back to the digital tools, I was far more purposeful. I take fewer photos now, but my hit rate is far higher. And the funny thing is that this digital camera that I bought like 6 years ago, I'm about to sell it, and I'll probably get about 80% of what I actually paid for it new in 2017. And largely that is because it has this kind of old school styling. It has this kind of retro or analog styling. I'm not the only one looking for a digital analog in 2024. Have a little look at the Fujifilm X100V. Second-hand copies of that are now selling for more than the original list price was. This is the power of the digital analog right now. This is the Supernote Nomad. Love this camera. It's just such a pleasure to use. My other camera's an R5. So I read a YouTube title this morning and it was something like, how to stand out with AI. And that's pretty close to an oxymoron. If we all just parrot what the robots write for us and shout that into a void, then there'll quickly be a vacuum for something human, something textured, something authentic. I am a teacher and I'm also a paying customer to ChatGPT-4. I use it loads to create very quick, very high quality tasks for my lessons. That's work that takes a great deal of time and which frankly the robot does better than I could in less time. But you wouldn't want that from this content. You would switch off very quickly if this review was written by AI. And more to the point, I would not want to create these videos by AI. The creative bit of teaching is how you sculpt the lesson and how you apply the resources in your classroom to engage those students and help them to make progress. And for writing poems and for drawing, it's the act of writing and the act of drawing. Struggling to control the mess of marks on the page to make it represent something and be pleasing to look at. That's where the art is. And in looking at it, you imagine being the human making the marks, or at least you admire the skill it took to bring that thing into being from the blank page. And so it is for poetry. And this is the place to do it. To bring that messy world of the idea, the feeling you have in your head, and to order it in words and sounds and images on the page, to give that text meaning. And these are my thoughts after 2 weeks of using it at work, although I must say that this is becoming the most unreview review of any product that I've ever made. But look, I've got a lot of content featuring this product and all the details are in there. But just let me show you how I'm using it at work now and why it's becoming totally invaluable. It all starts from a contents page, which I can access from a swipe down on this quick access bar at the side here. And in that I have a link to a page for all of my important areas. And in that I have links to all of my important files. For instance, this is the teaching notes that I need for teaching my A-level course. And I can work on it, I can annotate it. This is the topic that I'm up to right now. And I can quickly find parts of the course and access them to reference in my lessons. For instance, the answer sheets. And then I've also made a planner notebook, which again, I've got in the quick access bar here. The template for which is actually a PDF with all of my 2-week timetable, with all of my lessons already labeled up. And I just need to annotate in them what I'm doing for each lesson. And every 2 weeks, I can just add another 2 weeks worth of the PDF template. And because it's a notebook rather than a PDF, I can still use all of the awesome headings, keywords, and stars functions. So the start of the next school fortnight will be the 4th of March. Select that and turn that into a heading. And there it is. I can skip back to my fortnights just like that. And I can also highlight keywords, have them recognized, and skip to wherever they appear in the book, and star marks for my to-do list. And as soon as I delete that star mark, it's gone from that list. It's simple, but it's elegant. And it's a workflow which I've gone straight into, and honestly, I'm not sure that I want to switch out of it anytime soon. It's really appealing to the intentional tech ideas that I'm embracing since reading Digital Minimalism. And yeah, it's great. 2 things to say though, I do wonder if it's a little bit small. And because of that, finger presses aren't always as accurate. You might have seen me miss once or twice. And if you find that, you can just use the pen and you'll be much more accurate every time. And I suppose I just wonder whether I'm going to love the A5X2 more. I think that I probably will. I've always sort of felt that the A6 size was a little bit too small for me. And I have really loved when I've used the biggest A4 size e-ink tablets. But as far as the functionality of the Supernote goes, with those larger Supernote devices coming along, I can tell you they're going to be worth the wait. For now though, whenever this is a little bit small, you can just go ahead and rotate it and you should be fine with the size. And pinch to zoom does work, but it isn't perfectly integrated. To use their own taglines and to add a few of my own, it's elegant productivity for those who work. It's enticing stationery for those who write. And it's a digital sketchbook for those who draw. And also, I'd say this one is a travel notepad for digital nomads. I think you're probably getting the idea that I'm pretty enthusiastic here for this product. It's a device that lets you do all your thinking, all your writing, all your drawing on this beautiful page and have it ready to go into our digital world of publication. That's what Ratta Supernote have created here. It's getting me very excited to do the two things that I love to do the most. The two things that if you left me idle with nothing but free time, the two things that I would end up doing beyond anything, to draw and to write. And thank you Ratta for understanding your audience so well and creating such a special product. There's more details about this product in these videos here.